In this video, we're going to take a look at a knife that I have been itching to try out for a long time. It is the Matt Graham designed Condor Primitive Bush Knife. That's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name is Brian. Thanks for joining me. So, it has been a while since I did a knife review, and one of my goals for 2018 is to kind of get back to the roots of the channel, so to speak, and do some more knife reviews. And one of the companies that I want to try to at least give some more attention to is Condor Knife and Tool. Actually, I think it's Condor Tool and Knife is the official name, but we know them as Condor Knives. And we're going to start that process with this one, which I really like. It's the Matt Graham design Condor Primitive Bush Knife, and it's got a really cool sheath. Actually, had the pleasure of meeting Matt several times now at different trade shows, you know, SHOT Show and Blade Show and stuff. And he's just a super nice guy. Not only are his skill levels like really high, he is like seriously a primitive skill guru, I would say. At SHOT Show this year, 2018, he actually coached me through my very third ever bow drill fire. Got it started in the SHOT Show big convention center, which was pretty cool. Just a super nice guy. He's also a songwriter and a pretty decent guitar player. So there's that too. So anyway, he's also a knife designer. So let me just tell you about the specs of this thing. You've probably seen it before. This will probably be like the 100,000th YouTube review on this knife, but I think it's pretty cool. I'm glad to get the opportunity. And actually, this one came to me in a battle box. So this was probably one of my favorite battle boxes ever, just because of this knife. But let's talk about the specs of this thing real quick, and then we'll get to doing some of that knife stuff, because I'm trying to get finished before the dog's owner gets home to let the dogs out. So I got my handy dandy little notes here. You ever watch Blue's Clues? Anyway, that's a whole nother subject there. This is again the Condor Primitive Bush Knife, and it's just got this little hole there that I don't really know if there's a reason for that. I think it's just a design feature. I should have asked Matt about that. But this is made of an 8-inch blade of 420 HC stainless steel with a satin finish. It is 0.12 inches or 3 millimeters thick, which is just shy of an 1/8 inch. 1/8 inch is 0.125. It has a walnut handle. This one does. It's also available with a micarta handle. And the overall length of this is 13.5 inches. I don't know the weight. I'm guessing it feels about like a pound. But as you can see, it is a full tang knife, and then it's got 3 sleeved rivets in here, so there's holes in there. So you could lash yourself a lanyard several different ways on this thing if you wanted to. I got a little bit of a flare on the end of the handle here. A very unique blade shape. And then the end of it has got sort of like it's not really a sharpened double edge, but it's a little bit sharper, and it just gives you a really good point for like boring in, making a divot hole or whatever in a bow drill set. And then the comes with this really cool sheath. You notice there are no belt loops on the sheath, and it's just I mean, I think it's pretty cool. It's kind of a traditional style sheath. The knife goes very deep carry in here, and this just slides down behind your belt, and that hangs it. And I'll show you that in just a minute. Very nice. I mean, I like the sheath a whole lot. And the price on this thing on Amazon is about, what I got here, it's about $76 for the walnut handle, and about $91 for a really cool two-tone micarta handle, which is kind of brown and grayish. So I don't know what kind of edge this would be. It almost looks like a slightly convex edge. But we're going to see how well it chops, and just do all the normal knife stuff that I hadn't done in a while. So hopefully we'll see how the old stump top's holding up to the weather. Oh, and we'll definitely, we're going to check the balance on this one. So anyway, let me take you down the old stump top. Well, first we'll take you down the old waist top. I'll show you how this belt, this sheath kind of works, and then we'll get down the old stump top and do some knife stuff. Okay, I'm going to try to do this without messing up my microphone, which is hanging right here. But basically, the knife just goes, and I just kind of push it out. It fits pretty tight when it's new. The knife just goes down inside the sheath like so. I don't want to cut this thing. So pretty deep carry there. And then, see if I can get my belt exposed here without catching it up in the microphone wires. Basically, you just slide it down behind your belt, and this little tab here will kind of catch it. And there you go. You can wear this thing a lot of different places. And it just it's a very secure, kind of a traditional style sheath, which I kind of dig. So there's that. Now let's get to the old stump top. Okay, so here we have the Primitive Bush Knife. Thought we'd first just do a little chopping with it. It's kind of designed to be an all-around knife. I got a piece of, you can see the green on here, a piece of pine branch that kind of fell down in a recent storm. We'll start with that. It's pine. It's not super heavy stuff, but we'll just see how well it chops this pine. So we'll try that right there. Got a little spring in it. I'm trying to. Okay, so it actually did okay, but I'll be honest with you, it kind of seemed like it wants to slip out of my hands. This walnut's pretty smooth and slippery, and it didn't really wasn't able to really keep a good grip on it there. But it just kind of wants to slide on down here out of my hand a lot. But every now and then, if I get the right, maybe I just got to hit the sweet spot. Okay, yeah. I think I was just going out too far. Really, the sweet spot seems to be about, you think it would be out here, but it's really like right about here. Seems to do a lot better. Yeah, apparently, yeah. So anyway, there's that. Just for kicks, we'll just baton this little piece here. So obviously, this is a very small piece of wood. And this is the kind of size stuff you might need to be batoning just to help yourself get some tinder if you're in an area where you really can't find anything smaller or any small dry twigs. And obviously that's not a big deal to baton this wood here, but we'll go ahead and set this aside for just a minute. Try something a little bigger. We're going to do this one here, and this is probably oak. Again, it's not the kind of stuff you're going to find laying in the woods. This is more just a I don't know what it's, just because I like to do it. It's not even really much of a test because you're not gonna find this split wood in the woods, but it is, you know, just see that if you need to do some crafting or whatever. So not a problem, obviously. It's a big old hunk of steel, so we'll set that aside. What we're gonna do next, we did a little chopping, a little bit of batoning, no big deal. I try to maintain standardized testing here. If we want to try to get a maybe a little bit of a fireboard and pine's not the best. We're gonna see if we can split this off just a little bit more. Just kind of craft something out here. All you anti-batoners out there, I don't really care. I think it's a handy skill to know and to practice and become good at more controlling. So I did that just so we could get a little flat thing here, so you can see one of the purposes for this really kind of extra tip here is just so you can really do a good job of getting maybe a bow drill divot started or something, or boring a hole, and it really does do a good job of that. Because as big a blade as it is, you can kind of choke up on it like this. It's got enough meat back here, you can grab it and do some kind of more fine task, and it does do pretty decent on that. So that's enough of a start there that you could use to burn in a bow drill. Try to scrape this off a little bit to see here. You don't usually work with pine on these videos, but I got some here. I just thought, you know, why not? I'm in Georgia and we have no shortage of pine trees here, so I'll just try this and see if we see what kind of feathers we can make on this pine. And actually, Matt recommended to me, the first time I met him at SHOT Show a couple years ago, just happened to catch him coming by. He was talking to John from Wingman 115, and he actually suggested I try using pine as a bow drill and just see, because it is soft, and as long as it's good and dry, it should work pretty good. So Trying to carve some really little fine feathers. This wood is, again, kind of green here. This is not super dry pine wood. This is more like green pine, but it's doing really good as far as carving the feathers. But it'll scrape, that's for sure. Got a nice spine on it. So I don't know if that'll burn up, if that'll spark up there or not. This may be too wet. I may have to grab the old fat wood down here. Matter of fact, why not, right? This is fat wood. If you're not familiar with fat wood, it's been laying out in the weather. You can see how wet it is, probably for 2-3 years now. I just use it every now and then when I'm making a video, and let's take and carve us off a little piece right here. Matter of fact, let's just scrape some off. Wait a minute, let me get this. Oh, can you smell that? Oh, smell it. Oh, it's great. Okay, so we got us a little fat wood fuzz going on here now. And some, I don't know, maybe sort of green pine. Let's see if we can get us a far going here. Got this big old honking straight ferro rod, which I really like. Let's just spark it up and see what happens. I love me some fat wood. See if this pine will burn. Look at it. I believe it might blaze up. It's kind of wet, kind of green, so to speak, but it's fine enough. Looks like it might even take. By the way, the dogs you hear in the background are not the usual dogs. Apparently we got some new dogs behind us. But looks like we got a little fire going there, so pretty cool there. Okay, so that's some of the knife stuff with the primitive bush knife from the folks at Condor, designed by Matt Graham. And kind of used some pine this time. You saw it did pretty good. I'm not really super strong on chopping. This handle just kind of want to slip out of my hands. And actually, I think the sweet spot is more like here rather than here where I would think it. But when I got it around here, it seems to bite and do okay. It seems to be balanced enough where you can do some pretty fine work with it. Pretty good with feathers and stuff. You can also use this tip here for kind of boring type tasks. A really nice sharp spine here. Big beefy 8-inch blade. I think this is a really good all-around big knife. It's not going to excel at chopping, but other than that, it seems to do pretty well. So that's some of the real-world testing, but as you may know, I really like to go above and beyond it and get more scientific with the testing. So here at Survival on Purpose Worldwide headquarters, I have created a state-of-the-art knife testing facility. I'm especially proud of our balance testing station here. I like to put all our knives, fixed blade knives anyway, through the balance testing station and make sure they're balanced as properly as possible so you can get the maximum effectiveness out of them. So we're going to check this one out right now. Not bad. Again, one more time. Okay, we're going to call that one balanced. I will say that the smoothness of the walnut handle, which kind of makes it not as easy to hang on to when you are chopping, seems to maybe aid in the balance testing process. And then this tip really does help it stick in. So anyway, that is the Condor tool and knife, primitive bush knife, designed by Matt Graham. And like I said, I spoke with Joe Flowers at SHOT Show, and we're going to be hopefully looking at some more Condor this year on the channel, trying to get sort of back to my roots and do more knife reviews and stuff. So if you've been interested in this knife, I hope this has been helpful. And as always, thanks for watching Survival on Purpose. I put out a brand new video every Friday and every Saturday, and very often random videos throughout the week. You can check out another one by clicking right over there. And if you're not subscribed, please click right down there. I really appreciate the support. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.